Good morning, and thank you for joining us. I'm Becky Olson from Human Resources. My colleague Sue Verart and I are on an organizing committee for this year's Award of Excellence, and we're very excited to present this year's recipients. While you might be tuning in from anywhere today, we'd like to start this morning off by offering a land acknowledgement for the land on which Western University is located. I'd like to welcome my colleague Sue Verart to present the acknowledgement.
Thank you, Becky. I'm offering this land acknowledgement to pay respect to the original peoples of the territory upon which Western is located and where we are all privileged to learn, share, and work together. I also offer this to honor and affirm Western's commitment and recognition to the importance of allyship and solidarity, and in accepting responsibility as a public institution to contribute toward revealing, discussing, and correcting miseducation and renewing respectful relationships with Indigenous communities. Western is located on the traditional lands of the Anishinaabeg, Chinookan, Lenape-Wauk, and Haudenosaunee people, on lands connected with the London Township and Sombra Treaties of 1796 and the Dish with One Spoon Covenant Wampum. This land continues to be home to diverse Indigenous peoples whom we recognize as the original caretakers of the land and vital contributors of our society. By recognizing First Nations peoples' relationship to the land, we make explicit Indigenous peoples' presence and rights to self-determination.
Thank you, Sue. I also wanted to let you know that today's session is being recorded and will be made available on the Award of Excellence website. I'm pleased now to welcome Acting President and Vice Chancellor Sarah Pritchard for opening remarks for our award ceremony. Sarah, please go ahead.
Great. Thank you so much for the introduction, and welcome everybody on this wonderful and special occasion. These awards of excellence are an important part of what we do as a community to recognize the extraordinary work that so many of our people on campus do. I also want to welcome any family members who might be joining to celebrate your loved ones. And we're really delighted to have the opportunity to have not only the winners, but families if they're available to join in the celebration. We had 33 nominations this year, including 8 teams, which represents the nomination of 40 people for these awards. These awards are nominated by your peers, and having peer recognition is always really special. And particularly at these days when we are all so busy, it takes time and it takes effort to do a nomination. So the fact that your peers were willing to take that time and make that effort on your behalf speaks to their commitment to you, to wanting you to know that how important you are to not only them as your colleagues, but to the entire institution. It's been a super busy and difficult couple of years as we've gone through this pandemic. And it's called on our entire community to step up above and beyond what we normally might do. We've done it with extraordinary success. And I think Western as a community can be extremely proud of how we've been able to continue to fulfill our mission as a teaching, learning, and research institution, one of the leading institutions of Canada. And I would say our colleagues would cite us as having probably been the most successful in being able to continue our work in person for our various constituencies. And having been able to do that, even when we face the challenges sometimes of working from home or from difficult working conditions. The nominations and the awardees this year come from a wide cut of the community at Western. It represents a lot of the different areas that Western has as different parts of what we do. We have them from the Office of Indigenous Initiatives, from our EDI office. We have them from the faculties of Music, Law, Education, and FIMS, the Office of Faculty Relations, Student Services, Academic Support, Technical Services, Office of the Registrar. We are a very diverse community, not only by who we are as individuals, but by what we do and how each one of us is an essential cog in this great big wheel of making Western the success that it really is. So it's great to see so many people from across campus. Of course, we wish it was in person. I think we've all become Zoom savvy, but I think we also would be saying it's still not quite the same as being there in person, but it's still nice to see fresh faces and to see people that we don't get to see every day. So I want to thank you first and foremost for your dedication to the university, to your dedication to the excellence of what you do on a day-to-day basis. And our success is because of that dedication and because of your excellence. So thank you to all of you. Big congratulations. And I hope you enjoy the day. And we do hope, when allowed, to be able to see you in person for a celebration. So have a wonderful day. Congratulations. And I hope that the balloons last for more than just the day so that you can dwell on the success for a little bit longer. So with that, I'll pass the microphone back to our organizers.
Thank you very much, Sarah. 2021 was a year where Western employees continued to demonstrate exceptional resilience and innovation in the face of unprecedented changes. With that in mind, it is no surprise that we received so many strong nominations. I want to take this opportunity to thank three groups of people. First, I want to thank all the outstanding individuals who were nominated. Even though we selected just 7 individual recipients and 2 teams this year, know that your efforts and commitment are worthy of recognition. I also want to thank all the people who took time to make the nomination for the Awards of Excellence. We appreciate the time and the work that goes into preparing the information and letters to put a nomination together. We are grateful for the recognition of the outstanding staff that we have here at Western. I would like to recognize as well the work of the selection team, who had a difficult task this year in selecting the recipients. We very much appreciate their time and attention to this important process. This year, we gather virtually, as Sarah said, and we look forward to the opportunity at some point this spring of joining together. But as part of the celebration, we sent a meal from our wonderful Great Hall catering team to each of the recipients so they could celebrate with their family and friends. Now, to start the ceremony, we will be sharing videos featuring our nominators. You will hear the stories about why they nominated their colleagues for an award of excellence. So let's begin. I'm pleased to introduce the nominator, Leslie Oliver, to tell us more about the first recipient, Sarah May Chitty, from the Office of Indigenous Initiatives.
Hi, my name is Leslie Oliver from the EDI office at Western. I, along with Heather Martin from Western Research and Allison Wetherall from Western Libraries, nominated Sarah May Chitty for the Western Award of Excellence. Leslie Glore-Duncan from Student Experience also provided supportive input to the application process. Sarah May is a highly respected and valued colleague who has consistently exceeded her role in supporting and collaborating with campus partners to further our understanding of Indigenous knowledge and inspire in us a thirst to learn more and even apply what we've learned. How many of us can now feel more confident in offering a land acknowledgement thanks to Sarah May's training? When our campus community had to pivot to working remotely, Sarah May worked tirelessly to modify the experiential blanket exercise, and for those of us who have participated in many of these, she enhanced the entire learning experience. As you get to know Sarah May and collaborate with her, you quickly recognize that she loves her work. She is not only passionate about Indigenous advocacy, but she continually strives to learn more and then in turn shares this knowledge. She empowers us to create events, pursue learning, and interact with one another while all the time patiently responding to our questions and requests for guidance. Thank you, Sarah May. You so richly deserve this Award of Excellence. We all love working with you and respect all that you bring to Western. Congratulations.
Like, I just want to go cry right now. So this is going to be really hard, and I'll try to make it quick. But Gechi miigwech to my nominators. It really means a lot to me that you put that nomination together. And it's an honor to be here today. Congrats to my fellow colleagues. Miigwech for this recognition, for this work. But I have a lot of gratitude because I wouldn't be here today in this role without those that have been doing this work for way longer than me in Indigenous education, both at Western and beyond, and the people who carved this space for Indigenous students like me when I was attending Western, and to those who continue to hold that space and protect it. This role comes out of the TRC calls to action number 62. And I hope in receiving this award, that means that we're doing something right to honor and be accountable to the calls that those residential school survivors asked of us. And I'm just building on the work of my colleagues, Indigenous scholars and educators at Western. And so it just feels weird to be the one recognized for this work. I want to thank Candace Burnett-Debossigay for mentoring me and the Indigenous Curriculum and Learning Subcommittee for making this role a possibility. But I couldn't do this work without all the people who are thinking of next generations, like me coming up. And I'm also just thinking of this tweet I saw from Nehioa poet Erica Violet Lee. She tweeted recently that she's not self-made, she's community-made, and that really resonated with me. So I feel, of course, I have to acknowledge the support from the communities I'm a part of, Indigenous and non-Indigenous, my friends, my family for telling me I could. Like, I literally wouldn't be in this job if it wasn't for Candace and Liz Akoenzi and Francis Moore, who were like, you can do this and you need to do this. And of course, all the folks in the Western community that I've had the privilege of working on with so many great initiatives, and the entire OII team, without whom I would lose my mind. So, and of course, Marianne Kichigo, who makes Kairos even more amazing, and all of the folks who have come to learn and unlearn alongside me over the past 2 years. It really means a lot to me to do this work together. So miigwech for this recognition, and congratulations to my fellow nominees or award winners. Thanks.
Thank you, Sarah May. Congratulations. Next, we'll hear from Erica Lawson to share some words about the award recipient, Melanie Katsivo, from the Schulich's Office of EDI, Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion.
Hello, everyone. My name is Erica Lawson, and on behalf of my nominating colleagues, Drs. Godwin Arku and Severia Strangers, I am thrilled to highlight our dear and respected colleague, Dr. Melanie Katsivo, recipient of the prestigious Western Award of Excellence. Dr. Katsivo is a global leader in the development of research partnerships between Western University and international scholars. In her 20 years plus at Western, Dr. Katsivo has consistently striven to promote Western University as an attractive destination for Canadian and international students. She's built an enviable record for promoting equity, diversity, and inclusion, capacity building, and community relations. Working as an EDI specialist at the Schulich School of Medicine and Dentistry, and in collaboration with her colleagues, Dr. Katsivo has worked hard to build an inclusive organizational culture. As well, she extends her commitment to EDI by supporting students from underserved communities. On a more personal note, I've come to know Dr. Katsivo as a colleague who's generous with her time, someone who promotes cooperation among different groups of people across our campus, and who seeks out opportunities to support professional and development opportunities for others. Not only does Dr. Katsivo hold herself to high professional standards, she does her work quietly and humbly. And so today, I want to take this opportunity to say thank you so much, Melanie, for all that you do to make Western a great place to work and study. Congratulations again.
accept this award with utmost delight and deep gratitude. I am truly humbled. When I came to Canada, my goal was to rejoin academia. And I remember that on my days off, I would choose to take a bus that went through Western. And each time I would say to myself, soon and very soon, I will work in this institution. That coveted time came in 2004 when I joined Research Western. I felt that I had arrived. I have never looked back, and Western has in the past 17 years provided a nurturing work environment that has allowed me to optimally utilize my talents for the benefit of my clients and stakeholders. The enthusiasm and resourcefulness of faculty, students, and staff at Western motivate me to get up each morning with great expectations. And even whilst I lay down to sleep each night feeling exhausted and sometimes anxious, many times I am very satisfied with what we have collectively achieved. My nominators and dear colleagues, Godwin Aku, Erica Lawson, and Saverio Stranges, who were supported in nominating me for this award by Isaac Lugina, Madhumita Ray, Aislinn Adams, Bob Goff, Joanna Quinn, and Isola Ajiferuke, have been instrumental in this journey towards being placed on the President's Honor Roll. We have labored and bled together. They and many other faculty members and students stretch my imagination and help me bring my A game, especially during challenging times. All in all, they have made my 17 years at Western very, very enjoyable and quite frankly, productive. I thank you all. Finally, I take this moment to thank my children and their spouses who are all Western grads, and my 3 delightful grandchildren. Their conditional love and support at all times is priceless. For me, Western is a family affair. Thank you.
Thank you, Melanie, and congratulations on your award. Next, I'm pleased to introduce Sandra Smeltzer, Andrew Bertal, and Emily Ansari, who will be sharing why they nominated our next award recipient, Karen Konnen, from the faculties of Information and Media Studies, Music, and Law.
Hi, I'm Emily Ansari, Assistant Dean of Research in Music.
Hi, I'm Andrew Botterill, Associate Dean, Research and Grad Studies at the Faculty of Law.
Hi, I'm Sandy Smeltzer, and I'm the Assistant Dean Research in the Faculty of Information and Media Studies.
And we are here to congratulate Karen Konnen, who is a recipient of the Western Award for Excellence. So Karen is the research officer responsible for our 3 faculties, and she works with us assisting with grant applications and research in these 3 faculties, and in the process supports nearly 100 faculty members. We, the 3 of us, agreed together that we simply had to nominate Karen for this award because she's done so much for each of us, and because she goes above and beyond what we expect and need from her on a daily basis. None of us can imagine doing our jobs without Karen's advice and support. The research culture at FIMS and law and music has improved significantly due to Karen's hard work and her dedication to her job, and our success with research grants has improved dramatically under her stewardship.
So I'm going to highlight 3 things, although there are many, many things that we could say about Karen. First of all, I would say that she's very proactive in identifying potential sources of research support and tailoring those sources to the needs of individual faculty members. Second, she provides remarkably detailed feedback on grant applications, and is especially good at budgets, which is certainly not my strong suit. And third, she maintains a blog, which is sort of a one-stop shop for FIMS, music, and law research, which includes potential sources of research and also tips for grant writing and other forms of applications.
And I think I speak on behalf of all three of us, to say that the highlight of our time as ADRs in our respective faculties this past year, this very difficult past year, has been working with Karen. She's generous, she's thoughtful, she's insightful, she's hardworking, and importantly, she's very so diplomatic. She proactively, as Andrew said, supports every single person to pursue the kinds of research that they wish to pursue. And I know I speak on behalf of the three of us to say that all of our faculties are better because we have Karen working with us. We're very lucky to have her here at Western.
Thank you, Karen.
Thank you, Karen.
Thank you, Karen. We love you.
Wow, what an awesome experience this is. I only wish that we could have done this in person. It would have been wonderful to celebrate in the Great Hall with more of our colleagues from across campus, but here we are in the middle of another pivot. Thank you so much to my nominators for recognizing my work and saying such wonderful things about me. They are the people that I've been working with most closely over the past couple of years. Andrew, Sandy, and Emily, my heartfelt gratitude goes out to you for finding the time to nominate me during what I know hasn't been an easy year for you. I feel so blessed to be here beside these other recipients. I'm so fortunate to be honored with them. Some I've worked closely with, and some have made my job easier over the years. My job as a research officer is to primarily work in the background and help others achieve the successes. So it feels really strange for the spotlight to be on me. Usually I'm choosing words for others to use and advising them not to be so modest about their accomplishments. I've been really fortunate to work at Western. When I first started here, I didn't really intend to stay, but here I am 7 positions later and a little more than 34 years. Western has afforded me many opportunities to explore different positions, to learn, to train, and grow in so many ways. I completed my master's degree at Western while working here full-time. I must say that my job is never boring. Where else could you have the opportunity to work with so many researchers who are so passionate about all the issues that they are exploring? I want to thank those who I've leaned on over the past several years, to all the countless people that I've had the pleasure to work with in all of my varied positions at Western, my colleagues at Western Research, Research Finance, the staff at the faculties where I work. You all make my job so much easier. Thanks to faculty members who trust me to assist them with their research. Thanks to my noon hour walking partner, Heather. Our walks not only provide exercise at lunch, but also help to relieve the stress of work. And we have the extra perk of being able to enjoy this beautiful campus. Thanks most of all to my family, my husband, Mark, my children, my grandchildren, and my extended family who have stood by me in my work, in my studies, and keep me grounded. Thanks.
Thank you, Karen. Congratulations on your award. Our next recipient, Sonya Malone, was the physician team lead with Student Health Services. It is a pleasure to introduce our next nominator, Deborah Turnbull, who will tell us more about Sonya's integral role with their service.
Hello, my name is Deborah Turnbull. I'm the Team Lead RN Health Services with Student Experience. It is with great pleasure that myself, along with many other team members, nominated Dr. Sonya Malone to the Western Award of Excellence. Dr. Malone, Sonya, is a pleasure to work with. Always takes time for colleagues and patients with respect and dignity. Dr. Malone is known for her leadership, some quoting. She leads from behind, meaning she listens to new initiatives, offers guidance where she feels appropriate, and works with the team to introduce positive change. These qualities are also clear with her patients while in her care. She is a physician that her patients can rely on for both medical and emotional support. And I do know when speaking with these patients that they will use these skills from Sonya for their lifetime. Through these past few challenging years, Sonya has embraced them with professionalism and can always be counted on within a moment's notice. Her humor and positive approach are always such a pleasure to see. Congratulations, Sonya, and this is so well deserved.
Thank you so much. I'm truly moved almost beyond words by this gesture. Thank you, Deborah, as well as Lawrence Batmazian and Charles Chamberlain for your nomination and all of your kind words, and in particular, your endless support in providing incredible care to Western students along by my side over the years. And as you know, delivering high quality medical care is a team effort. So I share this award with my wonderful colleagues at Health Services and with many others working tirelessly in the wellness and well-being pillar. I share this award with the courageous students who spoke up 6 years ago and implored the health clinic to provide better and more fulsome medical and mental health care for gender diverse students. I share this award with my frontline colleagues and leaders who have gone above and beyond at the drop of a hat on any given day to support the COVID-19 response within the campus community. And lastly, I share this award with my family, who brings me endless joy and who are not infrequently abandoned at the dinner table as I tie up a few loose ends at work. It really does take a village to provide wellness services, and I am so, so blessed to be part of a giant village at Western and in the Greater London community. Again, thank you so much for this tremendous honor. Thank you, Sonya. Congratulations on your award. Our next nomination is from Leslie Gore-Duncan from Student Experience. She will be introducing our next recipient, Kim Miller, for her work with academic support and engagement.
Hello, my name is Leslie Gluer-Duncan. I'm the Associate Director, Transition, Leadership, and Enrichment Programs for Academic Support and Engagement within the Division of Student Experience. It is my honor to share remarks today about Dr. Kim Miller. How does one sum up why we nominated Kim? She's an outstanding person, leader, and friend. She has poured everything she has into Western for more than 25 years. Anyone who knows and works with Kim knows that she is a champion for change. She creates the conditions for students, staff, and faculty to do their best work. She has a grounding and calm presence. This calm has been critical to us while working throughout the challenging circumstances of the pandemic. Kim's nomination is filled with personal testimonials from individuals from every corner of our campus. I would love to share the entire nomination with you, but sadly I cannot. I would like to share one remark from our nominator, Lorraine Davies. Time spent with Kim is rewarding and worthwhile because she is authentic, transparent, and committed to improvement. Integrity is a quiet quality, and those who have it, like Kim, are not concerned with accolades or praise. Because of this, they're often overlooked. We have few opportunities to publicly acknowledge the tremendous value of this leadership quality. I am thrilled today that we get to celebrate her. Thank you, Kim, on behalf of everyone that contributed to your nomination and many more who didn't. We are so grateful for all that you bring to Western. Our sincere congratulations.
Thank you, Leslie. They forewarned us about these videos, and I was already on the verge of being a mess watching the earlier ones. So the Kleenex box is very close. Thank you so much for this meaningful recognition. One of the things that it has done is provided me with an opportunity to pause and reflect on my 25-year career at Western, and has reminded me of what a special place this is to learn and grow in. Relationships have really been the hallmark of my time here. The people who were colleagues first and now friends forever have been what has sustained me, brought joy to challenging moments and ordinary moments, and encouraged me at every step. Leslie, Lorraine, and Meg, and all of those who contributed to my nomination are just a few examples of the exceptional people that I've had the privilege to know and work with. Thank you for your kind words, the time that I know it took to pull the nomination together, and for shining a light, albeit an uncomfortable light, on my contributions. I am especially grateful for the belief and trust I've received from some really remarkable mentors over my years at Western, including some who are on the call today. I have learned from each of them, and without a doubt, they've played a significant role in helping to shape my professional life and influence my career trajectory. For me, it is the people that make Western the place that it is, and I can confidently say that I have worked with and continue to work with some of the very best that Western has to offer. So how lucky am I? Heartfelt congratulations to all of the other nominees and recipients. Many names I recognize, and many I've had the pleasure of working with over the years. I am humbled to be in your company. And finally, a special thanks to Becky and Sue for all their efforts to make this a special pandemic celebration. Thank you.
Thank you, Kim. Congratulations on your award. Next, we'll hear from our next nominator, Dina Grogan from Western Technology Services, who will share a few words about Sergio Rodriguez.
Hi, my name is Dina Grogan. I'm the e-learning technology manager in Western Technology Services. My colleague, Dr. Stephanie Horsley, the Associate Director of E-Learning in the Center for Teaching and Learning, and I are honored to introduce Sergio Rodriguez, Director of Client Services in Western Technology Services, as a most deserving recipient of the Western Award of Excellence. As one of 4 directors in WTS, Sergio is part of a leadership team that has helped WTS and Western to prosper in a year that not only brought about an unprecedented demand for IT services, but also required the entire university to pivot countless times to meet new and unforeseen challenges. Sergio is humble and humorously self-effacing, and so we can imagine and truthfully enjoy that he will likely be a little uncomfortable with this praise and attention. When we reached out to Sergio's colleagues about this award, we received an overwhelming amount of support. We heard from colleagues, members of his team, fellow directors, and even an AVP or two. We repeatedly heard that Sergio is able to anticipate future technology trends, challenges, and needs, and his strategic vision helped WTS to be prepared for something as impactful and unexpected as a global pandemic. He continues to advocate for technology resources so that Western has a strong technological foundation for today and the future. Many of his supporters discussed how Sergio acted as a mentor to not only his own teams, but also to his colleagues, and that he works hard to support the professional development and career growth of those around him. While helping to lead the monumental task of the rapid transition of thousands of courses to online formats, Sergio continued to prioritize the well-being of his staff and colleagues and work to bring resources and recognition to the various stressors that may be impacting the Western community. Associate Vice President Ruben Sheladerai summarized Sergio's contributions to Western by saying, Sergio's commitment to Western is evident through all aspects of his work, including his team-oriented leadership style, disciplined work ethic, and also always placing the best outcomes for Western at the forefront. Sergio greatly enhanced Western's capacity to respond to the pandemic, working tirelessly to provide strategic direction and implement systems in a context of great urgency. He is ever attentive to the needs of campus partners and responsive above all to the experience of learners. Sergio is a deeply committed, extraordinary leader and undoubtedly deserving of this award. Please join us in congratulating Sergio Rodriguez as a recipient of the Western Award of Excellence.
Oh boy. Yes, Dina, thank you for that. It's she's absolutely right. This is a bit uncomfortable for me, but that's not to say that I'm not extremely grateful for the recognition. I'd like to begin by acknowledging the work of Sue and Becky and the rest of the team that works behind the scenes to make all of this happen. There's a significant amount of work, and I'm sure all the other award winners are very, very grateful for that. Congratulations again to all the other winners. I'm privileged to be included in this very special group of people. You know, the one thing that I think is extremely special for me about this award is the fact that people like Dina and Stephanie and all of the others that took the time to put forward a nomination package at all during an extremely difficult, stressful period it's very touching to me, that the fact that you all thought enough of me and my work to even that it even occurred to you. So I'm always going to be grateful to you for that. Thank you so much. I'm very cognizant that as a leader in particular, if any leader has any level and measure of success, it is in large part due to the people that stand shoulder to shoulder with them in the trenches on a daily basis. And you know, that's probably particularly and especially true for me. I think that the people that I get to work with on a regular basis make me better, and I'm truly thankful for the opportunity to work with them. So thank you to everyone in the department and WTS, our partners across campus. A special thanks to the people I work most closely with, my director colleagues in WTS, the entire client services team, my leadership team in client services, Dina, Chris, Ken, Judy. As I said, you all make me better. I'm extremely proud of what we've been able to accomplish together, and I consider myself extremely lucky to be able to work with you and support you and serve our community in the way that we do. You are all talented, committed, hardworking folks, and you're fine human beings, and I appreciate you so much. Last but not least, my family, they're my world, they're my heart. Everything I do, ultimately, I do for them. So thank you so much. I appreciate this.
Thank you, Sergio. Congratulations. Now I am delighted to introduce Margaret McGlynn, who nominated our next recipient, Connie Zarini, from the Office of Faculty Relations.
Hi, I'm Margaret McGlynn, the Vice Provost of Academic Planning, Policy and Faculty, and I was delighted to nominate Connie Zarini for the Western Staff Award of Excellence. Connie has been in my office since 2014. Before that, she was a staff consultant in Human Resources, and before that, the Director of Human Resources in the Schulich School of Medicine and Dentistry. Connie is a Western lifer with a deep knowledge of our campus community and the deep commitment to its success that comes with that. The testimonials we gathered for this nomination make mention of transitions in our office which exemplify Connie's importance. In November of 2019, she agreed to step out of her role as an immigration consultant temporarily in order to act as a faculty relations consultant to cover a departure. She had no formal training for this role, but with her depth of human resources experience and her knowledge of the campus community, she adapted seamlessly, even as COVID put unprecedented pressure on our office. With the departure of a second consultant in the summer of 2020, Connie was left as the only one, dealing with the needs of 11 faculties and the library for several exhausting months. And when we successfully hired 2 new consultants, Connie was responsible for onboarding them and introducing them to the norms of the campus and the office. It's reflective of her expertise, her deep commitment, and her instinctive support of her colleagues and friends that she has simply stepped into the gaps that have appeared as our group has evolved over the past couple of years. And she has done so extraordinarily effectively and with extraordinary calm. Even when things were at their worst, Connie was always unruffled and methodical. All of these elements, her expertise, her work ethic, her calm, her creativity, together with her practicality, her kindness, her principled approach to problems, and her communication skills, mean that Connie has the respect and appreciation of a substantial portion of the campus, from the leaders of the Faculty Association, to the deans and chairs and their staff, to the individual faculty members whose transition to Western she supported, or whose individual concerns she assuaged or solved. Because so much of her work is confidential, it's done quietly in the background, but that makes it no less important. I can think of no one on campus who better exemplifies the description of building and fostering Western's core values of of integrity, respect, and commitment to service.
I think I'll echo what many of our award winners have actually said about how emotional this would be. And I'm not typically an emotional person, so I appreciate this very much. I would like to take this opportunity to thank everyone who actually participated in my nomination, anyone taking the time to write a letter, and for the very kind words that Margaret has provided. I'm very honored actually to be nominated and selected for this award. I'd like to congratulate my colleagues who also received the Award of Excellence this year. And I would like to thank the selection committee and the organizers for hosting this event. It has been very well organized, and you have really thought of everything. So very much appreciate that. I have worked at Western for several years, and during that time, I've had the opportunity to meet, work, and learn from many individuals and colleagues. And given the length of time I've been at Western, there are really far too many to name, and I really don't want to miss anyone. I would, though, like to recognize our current team. I think Margaret has alluded to the fact that in early 2020, when pandemic hit, that we were all fairly new working together. And during this period, we have been able to accomplish much, and I think really demonstrates the commitment and support of the colleagues that we have here in the Western community. I really feel that I've been supported and mentored throughout my time at Western by many individuals, and I was encouraged to consider and experience different opportunities that allowed me to take on new accountabilities and learn more about Western. Having had the opportunity to work in different faculties, departments, and administrative units, it really meant I had the opportunity to learn about Western from different perspectives and to learn more about how our work connected across units, even when we didn't think it did. And the opportunity to meet new people, build relationships with many individuals across campus has been wonderful. These experiences and relationships continue to influence my ability to be successful. My work at Western has been fun, sometimes challenging, never boring, always interesting, and something I would not have been able to do without the support of colleagues. I would also like to thank my family, particularly my spouse, who has supported me throughout these past years. In addition to working, I actually continue to pursue educational opportunities. Balancing schedules at times has been challenging, but during the past 2 years in particular, during COVID, I have been very lucky to have his support. Thank you again for this nomination.
Thank you, Connie. Congratulations. We have two teams that are also being recognized today. I'd like to introduce Kathy Hebert, who nominated our first team recipient, the Teacher Education Office from the Faculty of Education. The members of this team are Cindy Barnes, Rebecca Cole, Kathy Carnett, Courtney Klein, Joanne Labardi, Katie Manton, and Anna Zuber.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kathy Hibbert, and I am the proud Associate Dean of the Teacher Education Office. To say that I am delighted that the staff in the Teacher Education Office have been recognized for Western's highest award of excellence is an understatement. In fact, this year marked the third time I nominated them, and I know that my predecessor, Dr. Margaret McNay, had submitted nominations before me. But what I think might have contributed to the recognition this year is that the pandemic provided an opportunity for our colleagues across the university to get a glimpse at just how remarkable this team is. Within a moment's notice, they recreated an online tutoring program that we had in place to provide tutoring across the province
to also provide that support for Western employees who were struggling with children who had been moved into the home for their schooling. It was a resounding success, and we heard from all kinds of Western employees about how helpful that had been. We often get email from student teacher candidates, associate teachers, board partners, and this year's been no exception. But what was exceptional this year was that in this crisis, it became clear that the efforts of these women were exceptional. In fact, it led one letter author to describe the note of appreciation that she sent as a love letter to the office. Anna, Courtney, Cindy, Joanne, Rebecca, Katie, and Kathy, congratulations on being recognized for the exceptional group of people that you are and for your contribution to making Western a wonderful place to work.
I'll invite Anna to speak on behalf of the team.
Thank you very much. And thank you, Kathy, for those wonderful words. I need to catch my breath for a second here. I knew I would be a little bit choked up, but thank you so much. We are all just so thrilled to be nominated and receiving this award. In fact, we were all so surprised to find out that we were among this year's recipients. And I think that says a lot about the team that I have had the pleasure of working with for many years. Each of us brings a great deal of respect and empathy and caring to everything we do in support of each other, our students, our instructors, and our program. And I think it's why we've worked so well together. And even through the many changes and stressors and challenges of COVID and working away from each other, we actually welcomed 2 of our members to join us during the pandemic. There was never a moment of doubt, I don't believe, for any of us, that we were still teammates, there for each other, working together to continue to find new ways to provide the best support we could for our students and our instructors. I am so honored to be part of this amazing group and to be sharing the recognition of the Staff Award for Excellence with them. We want to thank you, Kathy and Donna, who I know isn't able to join today, as our nominators. You are both faculty leaders who, despite the busyness of your own roles, put so much time and thoughtfulness into the preparation of our nomination. You are exemplary role models for us and among the many colleagues at the faculty and Western who make working here such a pleasure. And last but not least, we all want to thank our family and friends as well for their endless support. It would not be possible for us to bring our best selves to work without them cheering us on. And if I may add one more thank you to my teacher ed colleagues, Kathy, Cindy, Courtney, Rebecca, Katie, and Joanne. You are the best. Thank you for being you.
Thank you, Anna, and congratulations to the team in Teacher Education Office. Next, I'd like to welcome Glenn Tigert to introduce our final award recipients, the Undergraduate Ontario Admissions Team from the Office of the Registrar. The members of this team are Sami Labi, Teresa Serwadik, Catherine Thomas, and Sarah Visser.
Hi, I'm Western's Registrar Glenn Tigert, and it gives me great pleasure to introduce the next recipients of the Western Award of Excellence. This is a team of staff from undergraduate admissions in the Office of the Registrar. Sami Lahib, Teresa Serwadik, Catherine Thomas, and Sarah Vischer collectively manage the admission process for Ontario high school students coming to Western. This represents 75% of Western's first-year class. In a normal year, this work requires painstaking analysis and execution using applicant data and behavior from prior years to predict acceptance and registration rates in the current year. For the class of 2021, however, nothing was normal. Because of the pandemic, significant changes were made to the Ontario high school system, moving from the normal semester system to a quadmester system. The team had to adapt to these changes, finding new ways to use the marks submitted to us from nearly 40,000 applicants from Ontario high schools in our student system. They had to fairly and accurately assess the approximately 20,000 students to fill 4,700 first-year spots at Western. The project team needed to manage the complexity of trying to attain multiple goals at the same time. For example, they needed to coordinate their work as part of achieving Western's overall enrollment targets that included international and out-of-province students, both of which were outside of their control. At the same time, they were contributing to the individual enrollment targets of 11 faculties and programs. Throughout this process, the objective was to identify and offer admission to the best Ontario high school students through a fair and equitable process. Together, this team worked as a unit to analyze historical and current information provided, take into account new information and student behaviors resulting from the pandemic, select the best students to receive an offer, and correctly communicate those offers to the students as rapidly as possible to minimize student stress. Every one of the team members contributed to the overall success of this project, and the results were very impressive. Western achieved its largest first-year class ever, and at the same time, we were close to all individual faculty and program targets. As Western's registrar, I am very proud of the results accomplished by this amazing team. Working from home and coordinating this incredibly complex process using Zoom and Teams. Please join me in congratulating Sarah Vischer, Samia Lahib, Catherine Thomas, and Teresa Serwadek for their contribution to Western's admission success in 2021.
So I'll invite Catherine to speak on behalf of this team.
Wow, thank you. That was amazing to listen to. Thank you, Glenn. And thank you to Western for recognizing all of us. It's been such an honor to see our work highlighted in this way. So similar to most of you, I imagine, most of what our team does is done in the periphery. It is done over Zoom and over Teams and between countless other meetings and tasks. It is done while juggling daycare and school runs and continued through closures and lockdowns. It is done over some late night and early morning emails and meetings. And when time permitted each of us to think through these complicated processes. And typically no one but the four of us sees most of these things. But last year was a little bit different. Last year we had an observer in our group. Diana Kabilds was observing our team. And Day was the manager of domestic recruitment and Ontario admissions and joined our team's chat to learn a bit more about how offers are done. And it was through this experience that Day got to see how our team operates, how we supported each other through all of the struggles and setbacks of 2021. And she witnessed how we challenged each other to step out of our comfort zones and to make sure our processes were equitable during an unprecedented year when so many of us were feeling defeated. A special shout out to Day for nominating us. When Sarah, Samia, Teresa, and I work together on projects and tasks, everything seems to be just a bit more manageable. We all have our strengths and weaknesses, but we have worked together for so long that we intuitively know when someone might need some extra support or when someone's ideas might need to be challenged. And this is all done in a kind and respectful way. Each of us really truly cares about the work that we do, and this shows in the planning and execution of our work. But no one's able to complete these difficult tasks alone, and the same is true for our team. The undergraduate recruitment and admissions office is full of incredibly hard work and passionate people, and we lift each other up. The work accomplished by Samia, Teresa, Sarah, and I would not be possible without the support and hard work by the team who works alongside us. Thank you to our friends and colleagues in the URA who have supported us and support each other in all the work that we do. And a special shout out to our families for holding down the fort during all of the offer days and long nights and early mornings, and for all the other support that you provide us. And congratulations to all the rest of the nominees. Thank you.
Thank you, Catherine. And congratulations to the team that brought us the best Ontario students. And thank you to all the award recipients, colleagues, friends, and family members who are watching with us today. We are very appreciative of you investing time in recognizing the contributions of this wonderful group of people. I'd like to invite you to join us for a round of applause for this year's recipients. Thank you once again for watching. For anyone who was unable to attend, a recording will be available on the Awards Excellence website in the next few days. I'd also like to take this opportunity to thank the wonderful human resource colleagues, Becky, Sue, Deborah, Julia, and Andrew, who were so detailed to ensure the success of this event. Take care and have a wonderful afternoon.